The 1970s was the decade of the disaster film, and this movie, it was the king or queen of these type of enterprises. An all-star cast, and the title, sound like Robert Evans, and the poster gives away the movie. Of course, it got to be The Towering Inferno. Now, The Towering Inferno, to a lot of people, is probably one of their favorite drive-in movies of 1974. Now, this American disaster film was directed by John Guillermin and produced by the great Irwin Allen, featuring an ensemble cast led by Paul Newman and Steve McQueen. It was adapted by Sterling Silliphant from the novels The Tower, 73, by Richard Martin Stern, and A Glass Inferno, 1974, by Thomas N. Scortia and Frank M. Robinson. In addition to McQueen and Newman, the cast includes veterans and rising stars, as well as established modern hit actors and actresses: William Holden, Faye Dunaway, Fred Astaire, Susan Blakely, Richard Chamberlain, O.J. Simpson, Robert Vaughn, Robert Wagner, Susan Flannery, Gregory Sierra, Dabney Coleman, and Jennifer Jones in her final role. The Towering Inferno was released theatrically on December 16, 1974, and received generally positive reviews from critics and earned about $203.3 million, taking place as the highest-grossing film of 1974. It was nominated for 8 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, winning 3, Best Song, Best Cinematography, and Best Editing. Now, the cinematography had a lot to do with Fred Koenigskamp and Joseph Bierock, who made the 20th Century Fox release immense. Now, it came out December 16, 1974, at 165 minutes. And again, the basic plot is there's this architect who comes back from San Francisco for the dedicating of the Glass Tower, a mixed-use skyscraper which is designed for developer James Duncan. The tower, which is almost 1,700 feet tall and 138 stories, is the world's tallest building. During testing, however, an electrical short circuit starts an unexpected fire on the 81st floor, just after another such short occurs in the main utility room. Upon learning this, Robert sees that the wiring is inadequate and suspects that Robert Sibrins, the electrical subcontractor and Duncan's son-in-law, has cut corners, and then the trouble starts. Now, again, the cast is just beyond the beyond, ladies and gentlemen. What's kind of weird as well, the song from the movie done by Maureen McGovern. She's the singer of the party, and although not listed in the cast, her performance is acknowledged in the end credits. Now, Steve McQueen plays Michael O'Halloran, the 5th Battalion Chief. Paul Newman plays the Glass Tower Architect. William Holden plays the builder. Faye Dunaway plays Doug Roberts' fiancé, Paul Newman. Fred Astaire as the Harley Claiborne, the con man who flirts with Mrs. Mueller, with Susan Blakely, and of course Richard Chamberlain. Some people felt he was typecast as Roger Simmons, the actual engineer and Duncan's son-in-law. So now the movie was first kind of announced in the spring of 1973 when Warner Brothers, who was then production chief with John Cayley, paid nearly $350,000 for the rights to Stern's The Tower prior to that book's publication. This amount was larger than originally reported, and the book had been a subject of a bidding war between Warner and Columbia and 20th Century Fox. Columbia dropped out of the picture when the price reached $200,000, and Warner Brothers offered $390,000. Irwin Allen, who just had a big success with The Poseidon Adventure, was at Fox and persuaded that studio to make a higher offer when the book was sold to Warner's. Now, 8 weeks later, Fox was submitted a novel that was published the following year, with Allen says it's the same sort of character, same locale, the same story, the same conclusion. They bought the novel for a reported fee of $400,000, which was a great investment. That would equate to a $2 or $3 million in 2023 movie. Now, principal photography took 14 weeks, and Guillermin says that Newman and McQueen were very good to work with and added considerably to the roles. Now, this was kind of weird. Steve was known for, not say action movies, but movies involving a lot of action, but it was the first time that Newman and McQueen had got together for such a movie, and it was kind of a dream pairing. So a lot of people attended the movie thinking that McQueen was the best substitution for Robert Redford there was, and it ended up being, again, one of the best thrillers of the decade. So you got to understand, if you're going to the movies in the mid-1970s, you would expect to pay full price for Steve McQueen or Paul Newman or Robert Redford. And here you have them both together. Now, the big part of the movie as well was the score, which was conducted by John Williams. And it was eventually only recorded just a few weeks after the movie was scheduled to be released on October 31st and November 4th, 7th, 11th of 74. Now, the Academy Award-winning song "We May Never Love You Like This Again" was composed by Al Kasha and Joel Hirschhorn and performed by McGovern, again, who appears in a cameo as a lounge singer on the score's soundtrack. The song's writers collaborated on Morning After from the Poseidon Adventure as well, an Oscar-winning song which was also recorded by McGovern, although hers was not the vocal used in that film. Now, the soundtrack to it was released in Warner in early 1975. Now, Williams, who also did Earthquake, declaimed that this soundtrack borrowed cues from each other and inaccurate. The version of main title on the SMM discs in the film version differs from the original soundtrack album version, so it wasn't, a ripoff. Again, big release December 14, 74 in the States and Canada. This was a few months before Jaws, so if this was released later on, it was re-released, it would have done quite a bit of money. Now, McQueen, Newman, and William Holden all wanted top billing. Holden was refused, as his long-term standing as a box office draw had been eclipsed by both McQueen and Newman. To provide dual top billing, the credits were arranged diagonally, with McQueen lower left and Newman upper right. Thus, each appeared to have first billing, depending on whether the credit was read left to right or top to bottom. This was the first time the staggered but equal billing was used in a movie, although it has been considered earlier for the same actors regarding Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, until McQueen turned down the Sundance role. McQueen is mentioned first in the film's trailers, and the cast list rolling from top to bottom. At the film's end, however, McQueen and Newman's names were arranged diagonally as at the beginning. As a consequence, Newman's name is fully visible first there. Critical response on Rotten Tomatoes, 6.4 out of 10, and Metacritic gave it a 69 based on 11 reviews, indicating generally favorable. Now, biggest grossing film of 75 as well, with theatrical rentals of almost 49,000 in the States and Canada. In January 76, it was claimed that the film had attained the highest foreign film rental for any movie in its initial release, with 43 million, and went on to earn 56 million. When combined with the rentals from the States and Canada, the worldwide rental is 104 million. The film grossed again 116 million in the States and Canada and 203 million worldwide. Academy Awards, Irwin Allen nominated, as well as Fred Astaire, Best Supporting Actor, Best Art Direction, also Best Original Dramatic Score. I don't know why Williams lost there, and Best Sound, and of course the 3 Oscars. Now, the big one at the Globes, of course, it got 5 nominations. Susan Flannery won Best New Star of the Year for an actress, and Astaire won the Best Supporting Actor winner, and Jennifer Jones got a Best Supporting Actress nomination for those movies. But again, the We May Never Love This Way Again was also nominated for Best Song. Now, if you wonder why you don't really see this movie on TV very often, I don't know who owns rights to the movie nor to the music, so that's probably what's limited it. I haven't seen it on any Canadian channels for years, and I very rarely see it on DVD or any type of video streaming. It's kind of a weird thing. But the distance that we had since then with special effects and everything else, there was a lot of great special effects, but they're not computerized. And 165 minutes, I mean, literally, this is a big, big piece of cheese you have to digest. You know, some people's going to die. You know, other people's going to live. But it all depends who it is. But it's a typical mix. You got established stars, old stars, up-and-coming stars, beautiful women, handsome men, soap opera plot, and it says Towering Inferno. So it's big and it's on fire, the Towering Inferno. I would give the Towering Inferno, for me, 3 out of 4 stars. It held up on first viewing, but over the years with the O.J. Simpson situation and other negativity of some of the cast, it's not the same. But ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see some good acting from McQueen and Newman, it's in this movie. And don't forget the SCTV parody. Thanks for listening and have a great evening.